Hi, I'm Megan Buchter, and I'm the director of the Fowler Center for Business as an Agent of World Benefit at the Weatherhead School of Management at Case Western Reserve University. The Fowler Center exists to create a world where business can prosper, human beings can flourish, and nature can thrive. And one of the ways we do this is through our program called AIM2Flourish. But before I start telling you a little bit about AIM2Flourish, I'd like to show you a video to tell you a little bit more about business as an agent of world benefit. AIM2Flourish is a global discovery of business as an agent of world benefit. It's founded on the idea that if you want to change how business operates, you have to change the way that it's taught. And so we work with faculty and educators and universities all over the world to help teach students about business as an agent of world benefit. What is AIM2Flourish? AIM2Flourish is a free, flexible, professor-facilitated curriculum supporting business as an agent of world benefit in the UN Global Goals. It's a student assignment to learn about the power of business to do good and do well financially. It's a UN-supported platform that recognizes untold stories of profitable business innovations discovered and written by students. A global community of students, professors, and business leaders. It's a worldwide resource for sharing stories, a catalyst for positive business change, and a celebration. I'm going to tell you about our annual Flourish prizing process later during this session. Here is the AIM2Flourish website. You can visit it at www.aim2flourish.com. I'm going to walk you through some of the resources that we have on our website and some of the pages that you can see, and let you know how you can integrate the AIM2Flourish assignment into your classes. First, we have resources for professors and for students on our website. Our professor resources are designed to introduce you to AIM2Flourish and help you introduce AIM2Flourish to your classes. Also, to help you teach business as an agent of world benefit, teach your students about the UN Global Goals for Sustainable Development, and teach your students about appreciative inquiry and appreciative inquiry interview technique. All of those resources are laid out for you on our professor resources page. And as you'll hear me say many times, AIM2Flourish is very flexible. So you can pick and choose through these resources as you like to help you integrate these topics into your classes. Like I mentioned, we also have a page for student resources. The student resources page is designed to very specifically help walk your students through doing the AIM2Flourish assignment. It helps them find story ideas, it helps them prepare for their interview with a business leader or social entrepreneur, and it helps them write and publish a story about that company that they've chose to interview. Let me tell you a little bit more about the AIM2Flourish assignment. The AIM2Flourish assignment involves students, either individually or in teams, conducting an interview of business leaders or social entrepreneurs that are supporting business innovations that help support the UN Global Goals. They're finding untold stories about innovations that are changing the world. They're conducting these interviews using appreciative inquiry technique, and then writing up these stories, which go through a workflow process that we have on the website and ultimately get published on the site. These stories live on aim2flourish.com, where the community can celebrate their favorites. They can share and lift up these stories so that more and more people hear about stories of business as an agent of world benefit. Then finally, every year we celebrate the best of the best stories, and the business leaders, social entrepreneurs, and professors, educators, and students that were involved in the creation of that story with our annual Flourish pricing process. When it comes to writing an AIM2Flourish story or selecting a business that you want to write your AIM2Flourish story about, there are some criteria that your students should keep in mind. The first is that the company should be a for-profit company. We're looking for business innovations that are generating some sort of revenue that are self-supporting. We're talking about how business can be an agent of world benefit. The innovation should also be embedded in the business and not just philanthropy. The innovation should have a positive impact as opposed to simply doing less harm. And the innovation should be scalable or replicable. It doesn't have to be right now, but ideally, the business would be able to scale up what they're doing, or another company would be able to take that innovation and replicate it in another area. The AIM2Flourish story should also relate to one or more UN global goals. The innovation should be helping to achieve one or more of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. We use the global goals at AIM2Flourish as a lens for looking at the ways that business can be an agent of world benefit. Sometimes thinking about business for good or business as an agent of world benefit, as we like to say, can be very daunting. And so using the global goals allows us to say these are 17 different ways that businesses could be making a positive impact on the world. Finally, the AIM2Flourish interview is an appreciative inquiry style interview. Like I mentioned before, we give you many resources on our professor resources page if you'd like to incorporate appreciative inquiry into your classes. However, even if you choose not to have a strong focus on appreciative inquiry, your students will still be exposed to appreciative inquiry through the type of interview that they're doing, through the interview guide that we give them on the student resources page that they can take and adapt, and through the way that they're asking strength-based questions of the interviewee. For example, tell me a story about a high point moment at your organization when you felt that you were at your best. What was helping you to succeed? Who was there? What does this story tell you about your strengths? These are the types of questions that we have our students participating in the AIM2Flourish assignment ask of the business leader or social entrepreneur, the person that they're interviewing, to really draw out that story and find the inspiration behind the innovation at the business. Back to our website. Under the Innovations tab, you can browse stories and search through the more than 3,000 stories that we have already published on the AIM2Flourish website. This is also where, when you're using the AIM2Flourish assignment in your class, your students will be able to go to create a story, to start writing their story, and to the dashboard. Well, they'll be able to go back to their story as they want to finish the story, and where you'll be able to go when you're ready to review your students' stories before sending them on to us so that we can work to get them published. This is a screenshot of the Browse Stories page. Like I mentioned, we have more than 3,000 stories published. You can see that each story lists the university that the story comes from in that bottom right-hand corner, and lists the global goals that the story applies to in the top left-hand corner. Using the advanced search feature, you can also search by university, by location, by professor, by country, or by global goal if you're interested in learning about innovations, business innovations about a specific global goal. AIM2Flourish is very easy to incorporate into your classes. It's very flexible. We have sample syllabi located on our professor resources page so that you can see ways that a variety of professors have previously incorporated AIM2Flourish into their classes. AIM2Flourish works at the graduate, undergraduate, high school level, even executive education level. The assignment can be done individually or in groups. The assignment can be assigned for students to complete in a few weeks, all the way up to a whole semester for the students to complete the assignment. It can be a unique assignment where the students do the AIM2Flourish assignment and get a grade specifically on that assignment, or it can be part of a bigger project. We have professors that incorporate AIM2Flourish into a bigger project where the students are doing more work with the companies that they've chosen to interview. You can suggest businesses for the students to interview, or let students find them on their own. You can also ask students to only look at local companies, or let them look at global companies, or suggest a specific industry that students look at. So very flexible. It fits in a variety of different classes, whether you're teaching an ethics class or a sustainability class, or a different type of business class, or even not a business class. You know, all students, many students, whether they're studying business or not, are going to graduate and go and work at a company. And the goal is to think about, what type of company are you really going to work at? What type of company do you really want to support when you graduate and go into the workforce? So AIM2Flourish can really fit into a variety of different types of classes, business and non-business, or specific classes that focus on specific topics, or more general classes. Because the assignment is very flexible and can be very tailored to however you need to make it work for your class. I'd also like to mention that interviews can be conducted virtually. So students, we absolutely encourage our students to do the interviews in person as much as they can. It's a great experience to get a chance to sit down face to face with a business leader, a social entrepreneur, somebody at an organization. However, we also encourage our students to do their interviews virtually, which has allowed AIM2Flourish to continue even through the pandemic. But we encourage students to do their interviews virtually even before COVID-19. So we've always told our students that they can use Zoom, use Skype, use Google Hangouts, use FaceTime, WhatsApp, whatever technology they have to conduct these interviews, because that gives them the opportunity to talk to business leaders, social entrepreneurs, whomever they're interviewing, and not be in the room with that person, and still have that learning, that educational experience, that experiential experience outside of the classroom, talking to somebody, even if they're not able to be there in person. There are so many benefits to your students of incorporating AIM2Flourish into your class. So like I've mentioned before, it's very flexible. It's easy to adapt to a variety of class types. Your students are going to learn about leaders that do good and do well. This is also going to give them the opportunity to create lasting relationships with business leaders and sharpen their business interview skills. So it's not very often that students get a chance to sit down and be the ones conducting the interview. And so this is a good opportunity for you to teach your students some different skills than they might learn in other classes, and to give them that opportunity to go and talk face-to-face, whether that's in person or virtually, with someone that they likely wouldn't get a chance to talk to otherwise. Another benefit of AIM2Flourish is incorporating the UN Sustainable Development Goals into your class. So AIM2Flourish is a great way if you're looking at how you can use the global goals, how you can teach your students more about the UN global goals in your courses. AIM2Flourish is a wonderful way to incorporate that aspect into your class. And then finally, we recognize the best of the best stories that are written every year with our annual Flourish prizing process. I'd like to share some quotes from some students that we've had over the past. And so even though I've pulled out a few quotes here, these quotes are very typical. So we hear a lot that students do the AIM2Flourish assignment and then confirm that they should be graduating and working for businesses that they would be willing to write about as an AIM2Flourish story. We know that doing the AIM2Flourish assignment frequently changes students' career trajectories as they learn about companies that are doing good and doing well and want to go work for those types of companies. We also hear that doing projects like this change students' perspectives and make them feel like change is possible and that they can be part of the generation that helps the world change. And finally, we hear that the AIM2Flourish experience leaves students with the feeling that the world is going to be a better place, that the world is a great place, and it's only going to get better through the types of companies and actions that these students are finding and writing about. I'd like to take some time to tell you a little bit about our AIM2Flourish prizes as well. So every year we award 17 prizes, one for each of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. We give out these prizes every spring for stories that were published in the previous calendar year. So we just recently announced our 2021 Flourish prizes, and those were based off of stories that were published in the year 2020. At the end of the calendar year, we pull all of our stories. They're evaluated through a process and read by a distinguished jury that we have together that include members of our advisory board, of the community, and previous Flourish Prize winners. And then we announce 17 prizes, one for each of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. We celebrate the professors, the students, and the business leaders that were involved in the creation of those stories. If you take a look at our website, we have a whole tab for Flourish prizes where you can learn about the prizes. You can read about the winners from the past 5 years, and I'll tell you a little bit more about this in a minute, but you can watch some videos where we've done speaker series with our Flourish Prize winners from 2020. Our 2021 Flourish prizes, so we had 585 stories published in 2020. That included 173 stories with exemplar ratings. This was narrowed down to 77 finalists, and finally we announced 17 honorees at the end of May 2021. You can take a look at our Fowler Center for Business as an Agent of World Benefit social media accounts and our AIM2Flourish social media accounts and learn who all of the 17 winners were. So I hope you take some time to take a look and go look through all of our posts throughout the month of June in 2021. We're going to be sharing a little bit more about all of these companies. So please follow us on social media so that you can learn a little bit more about our winners this year. And stay tuned for some really exciting updates and celebration that we have planned coming up soon. I mentioned our Flourish Prize video. So if you visit our Flourish Prize page, we have a partnership with the University of California TV station, and we were able to record speaker series with many of our winners from 2020. And we had conversations with our professors, with the student authors, and the business leaders. And this is a great way to not only learn more about these businesses that have won this prize and to really hear more about these companies. It's another way for us to lift up and share these organizations, because ultimately we want to really spread the word that there are organizations out there that are doing wonderful things for the world. It's also a really great way to hear directly from the students and the professors that have been involved with AIM2Flourish and that have done the assignment and that have offered the assignment. So if you're a faculty member that is interested in AIM2Flourish and you go to one of these videos, at the very beginning of these videos, we always ask the professor or the educator to talk a little bit about their AIM2Flourish experience and how they incorporated AIM2Flourish in their class. And so if you go and you watch these videos, you'll hear from a variety of professors that have used AIM2Flourish about the different ways that they've incorporated into their class and what they like about it. You'll also get a chance to hear from students when we are able to have students involved in these videos, and you'll hear about their experience, what they liked about it, if they had any challenging aspects, and then ultimately, you know, how the story turned out and how the experience turned out. So this is a great opportunity to hear from people that were involved in this process and to really get the story straight from them. I hope that you'll join us. In 2020, we had 60 professors that used AIM2Flourish from 50 schools, and we published 585 stories about businesses from 38 countries. In total, we have 3,342 stories published as of May 28th, 2021, from 146 professors at 116 schools. And we have more than 18,000 members signed up on our AIM2Flourish website from 107 countries. And so we hope that will join us and be one of our new professors for the year 2021 and beyond. We hope that you'll become part of our community, because we'd love to invite you into our community, invite you to be one of our AIM2Flourish professors, and share stories about businesses in your country, in your community, and from around the world, so that we can continue to spread the word about businesses as agents of world benefit. If you'd like more information, please reach out to me, Megan Buchter, at megan@aim2flourish.com. I'd be happy to give you more information. I'd be happy to set up a time for us to talk together so that I can tell you more about the assignment and talk to you more about your individual class and how I can help you get AIM2Flourish into your course. So thank you so much for taking the time to learn more about AIM2Flourish. If you have any questions, I would be happy to hear them and happy to help you out. Thank you very much, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.